A-C-T.
I-O-N. Oh, Tommy, I told you week 1 was going to be brutal. It was brutal. I think we went 0 for 6.
Captain, like you said, week 1 was brutal. A lot of leans there, as we said. We said it last week. You got to watch out for week 1. And wow, the whole NFL was flipped upside down, Captain. I mean,
I didn't play anything last week. I released three releases. I'll take the hit on that. So now this week we're going to start betting.
Yeah, well, Captain, I'm even still a little weary here, but taking a look at a recap at week 1. Let's take a look real quick. First of all, Tom Brady could still play at 45 years old. Is that true?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oldest quarterback to start, 45 years old, making history here in the NFL.
He's got a great running game with Fournette, and he knows how to get the ball around. He's just playing Tom Brady ball.
Yeah, how about those Cowboys, Captain? Also, America's team. What's this hype about? Are they already in big-time trouble or what?
Well, Jerry Jones says that Dak's going to come back in 4 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. Just to re-break it again? Thumb is very, very touch and go there. Cooper Rush isn't the answer either. This is going to be one of my games this week. And I tell you right now, Dallas is in trouble.
Yeah, well, hey, how about Joe Burrow, Captain? I know that was a tough one. Who would have thought Joe Burrow would have gave up 5 turnovers to the Pittsburgh Steelers off their Super Bowl showing?
And then they got the long snapper. He gets hurt, so there goes 2 field goals. That was an atrocious game, and I look for Cincinnati to bounce back this week.
And what about ties, Captain? Have you ever seen how many kickers blew? These kickers are on lock normally, and we saw how many ties last week? I think we saw 2 ties last week. The kickers couldn't get it down. Unbelievable. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Rodrigo Blankenship got cut from Indianapolis this week, and I thought he was a good kicker, but he's gone now. So, you got to. That's your job. You don't do your job, you get fired.
Yep. And Lamar Jackson showed up, shows he could still play. It was against the Jets, though, so I guess we'll find out this week against Miami, maybe a little bit harder of a competitor. And also, Patrick Mahomes, another quarterback that showed up, might be playing some of the best football we've seen from Mahomes lately.
I think Kelsey's going to be getting the majority of that call because Tyreek Hill's gone, and you got to double team Kelsey. And going back to the Jets, Falco at quarterback, he's just freaking brutal, Tommy. I tell you, that's another bad move. They should go with Mike White. Falco's all done.
Yeah, Captain, last thing I just wanted to recap real quick. How about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers getting beat down bad, losing, offensive line struggling.
Oh, yeah.
Could Aaron Rodgers and the team show up? They did lose last year 38-3 to the Saints last year, opening game, and they still came back and won 13 games. Do you think Packers are still a 13-win team?
They got a decent defense. Right now, Rodgers doesn't have any continuity with his outside wide receivers. Lazard's hurt. He's a little banged up. So, it's going to be a tough game for him this week, even though they're playing the Bears, and I think they've beaten the Bears 20 out of 23 times. So, over the last 23 games. So, they should win, but once again, that's a very shaky game, Tommy.
Yeah, after watching that game, Packers in week 1, it's hard to rely on an offense like that just struggled the whole game. Aaron Rodgers lacking weapons to throw to. Offensive line still beat up. So until they can get things figured out, I might stay away from the Packers here, Captain. But a quick little recap of this week. NFL.
Brutal.
Like you said,
week.
Flipped upside down. Every game you thought was going to happen, it went the other way.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good teams that I thought were bad ended up winning. So
Vegas made a fortune last week. Let's get to it. Week 2. This is Action Week, ACT.
ION.
Okay, so what we're going to do this week, these are all going to be 5-unit plays, all flat bets. So my first pick this week is going to be San Francisco minus the 9.5. Coming off a brutal loss to the Chicago Bears. Seattle's coming in on a short week. Very emotional week for them. I look for San Francisco to come in here and just really dominate. I look for that defense to just really dominate Geno Smith. And I look for a double digit. They could win this by 21. They're angry on this because they lost last week, and it's a conference game. So, no. San Francisco minus 9.5 for a nickel. We'll do that, Tommy.
Yeah, 49ers was my play last week, Captain, so I'm still a little weary. After watching last week, they just looked lackluster there. But I agree with you. They're going to come home in San Francisco. Line started off at -8.5. We're at -9.5 now. So I kind of like this. I was looking at the under, maybe 41.5. I was leaning towards that. I think Seattle lackluster offense. They got by with Geno Smith, but I think they're going to have a tougher time against the 49ers here. So I like your pick, Captain. I'll go with that. My first pick, I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns, Captain.
Oh, boy.
I know, I'm reaching here. Versus the Jets here. The Browns won week 1 versus the Panthers here. I expect them to pound the ball on the ground. Nick Chubb's, Kareem Hunt. I think they control the clock. I think that's where they win the game. Jets only put up 9 points versus the Ravens. If you go back and watch that, 6 points were garbage points at the end.
Yeah.
So saying that, I think you said earlier, Flacco, I think he's got an uphill battle in New York. So even though I don't love Brissett at quarterback in Cleveland, I think the running game and the defense holds it together for Cleveland. So I'm going to take -6. The line moved a little bit and went up to -6, and I'll take it there. I'll take -6 for the Browns versus the Jets, who I think just one of the worst teams in the season. You know what the Jets stands for, right?
No.
Just end the season.
No.
I don't know if I should be saying that yet for all my Jets fans out there. We still got some games
They
to go.
actually have some weapons. If Zach Wilson can come back, I mean, they do have some outside weapons. They're going to have a decent running game. So, let Flacco get out, retire, and let Zach Wilson take over.
I do like Wilson. So,
Yeah.
But hey, I'm going against him. I'm going against the Jets this week. -6. The Browns here, Captain. Who do you like your next pick?
I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals going into Dallas. I think this game opened up at -1.5 for Cincinnati. It's up to 7.5. Dak Prescott's out. Cooper Rush is in. They just looked really lethargic last week. Cincinnati should have won that game against Pittsburgh. They have the toughest road schedule in the league this year, so they need to pick up this win. I think they're going to win this game pretty easily, and I'm going with Cincinnati -7.5 for a nickel, Tommy.
All right, Captain. It seems like the public's going with you. This line opened up at +1.5 on the Cowboys. We're sitting at 7.5 now.
Yeah.
So, -7.5. Captain's taking Cincinnati here. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to be looking back for a big rebound. They're upset after that.
Oh, yeah.
That week 1 performance there. So, Captain's taking the Bengals
Who do you
again.
Who do you got, Tommy? Who's your second pick?
Yeah, my second pick, Captain, I'm going to be going to actually a Sunday night game. I'm looking at the Bears and the Packers. And I don't want to put my money on the Packers. I think that they might win by more than 9.5 at home with all the cheeseheads there.
That's a lot
but
of
I'm taking a
points.
look at 42.5 here, Captain. That's where my play is going to be on the under. Aaron Rodgers' offense looked lackluster, doesn't have any weapons. And the Bears actually played pretty good in week 1, holding 49ers there in the second half. They came out a whole new team. If they could put that together, I see this being an under 42.5 here. I think the Packers might win, but I'm going to take the under 42.5 here. Bears-Packers.
Oh, yeah, I like
Sunday
that.
Night Football.
I like that under.
What about you, Captain? Where are we going next?
My last pick's going to be Monday night. Minnesota comes into Philadelphia. I took Philadelphia last week, and I'm taking them this week. Minus the 1.5. That's almost an even game. The reason why I'm taking this game is Kirk Cousins. He has a brutal record in prime time. So I'm going against Kirk Cousins, and that's the best thing I can do today because I think Philly's going to be up for the game. Monday Night Football in Philly against a viable opponent that they play. So I'm going with Philly minus 1.5 here for a nickel, and let's see if we get some of our money back.
All right, Captain. Philly again. Philly Bengals going back to the well from last week. I like it. Vikings look pretty impressively. Going into Philly is going to be tough on Monday night. As you said, Cousins' record is brutal when he plays on TV. Maybe this year it changes. I don't want to touch this game, but I respect your opinion here on the Philadelphia Eagles. My last pick, Captain, I'm going to move to the other Monday night game.
Okay.
And I'm taking a look at the Titans versus the Bills.
9.5.
Yeah, the line started at 7.5, now at 9.5. I love the Bills here. Minus 9.5. The Titans just look tough in week 1. And what the Bills did, they played Thursday Night Football, so they get a little bit more rest. And also what they did to the Rams, defending Super Bowl champs, at home, first game of the season, pretty embarrassing. This Bills defense is for real.
Yeah.
At home, I expect them to put a whooping on the Titans. I didn't see anything impressive out of the Titans to make me say that they're not going to get beat by more than 2 touchdowns here in Buffalo. Bills Mafia out in full effect.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Bills, Captain. -9.5.
Okay, there we go. That's your 3. That's my 3. We went 0-6 last week. We're going to change that this week. I know that. I have a baby game for you, a college game. Got some good information out of Arizona and Toledo +32 against Ohio State.
All right, Toledo.
Toledo can play.
Got a little bit of action.
They're gonna leave it a little. They may lose the game, but they're not gonna lose by 32.
Leave it out there. I like it, Captain.
And we'll do that one for a nickel also.
Yeah, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share us with your friends, guys. Throw it down in the comments.
Ring that bell.
We had a couple winners on there. For a couple of you guys throwing down some winners. Good to see some of the same guys back in the mix here on Action Bets. We appreciate you. And Captain, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Flat bets, guys. Just go with flat bets. By the end of the year, we'll be a winner, okay?
There we go. We're only week 2, guys, so still tread lightly, still see how it plays out. We only saw 1 week of football. A lot more action coming at you here on Action Bets.
ACT.
ION.
Action Bets. We'll see you next week.